Ihr hört einen Podcast vom Future of Festivals, das Branchentreffen für alle VeranstalterInnen, Dienstleistende, EntscheiderInnen und Auszubildenden aus dem Festivalbereich. Die nächste Ausgabe findet von Donnerstag, den 27. bis Freitag, den 28. November 2025 in der Station Berlin statt. Die folgende Aufzeichnung ist aus dem Jahre 2024 von dem Diskussionspanel mit dem Namen
Tools, Tools, Tools und inspirierende Festivalgeschichten.
Viel Spaß beim Zuhören. Mehr Informationen und Tickets findest du unter www.futureoffestivals.com.
Hallo erstmal. Schön, dass ihr da seid. Wir starten ein bisschen früh und es wird auf Englisch sein, weil wir auch eine englische Sprecherin haben. Darum jetzt weiter in English. Hello everybody. My name is Holger. I'm General Secretary of Europe, the European Festival Association.
And my name is Katharina, and I work with and for Holger, and I'm involved in everything he does, so also Europe.
And with us is Marta Payares from Primavera Sound. She will join us in a bit as well. Our session is Tools, Tools, Tools. And we basically will tell you about our work that we do with and for festivals in the past 3 years, because we were in several projects. We were creating tools which are free to use for festivals. They're online. All of you can go to our website and pick them. We will going through these tools. It's the European Festival Report, the Green Festival Roadmap, our Diversity and Inclusion Toolset, this 3F Safety Report, Festivals for Ukraine toolset, our future festival tools with several offers, and Fusion Festivals for Social Innovation Incubators. We were really doing a lot in the past years, and we will go through all of them, show you a bit. There's QR codes, you can scan them, or if you want to go to the Europe website, which is in the bottom right corner, you will find all of these tools there free for you to use.
And we only have 45 minutes, so if you have any questions, there will be no time for Q&A at the end. If you have questions, just come find us.
Yeah, we will be next to the stage afterwards, but there's so much stuff, we will go through it. If we end up early, we will have some Q&A here. Otherwise, we will be right there in the corner if you still have questions. About our association, Europe is a European Festival Association for popular music festivals. Right now we have 132 festivals and associated members from 30 European countries. And we were founded in 1998. And it's very much the Roskildes and Primavera Sounds and Wacken and Rock am Ring and Siget, these festivals, but also smaller ones like Haldern Pop, Ipsy Rock in Italy, etc. From very small boutique to the major festivals in Europe. I'm not talking about everything that we do. We have several working groups on focus topics. We have our events there. We have the Take a Stand as our social awareness initiative, but we also working in European funded projects, and within these projects we are putting together the tools that we will be talking about. 3F is the European project that helps us bringing people here like Marta, and we will also be offering talk and stage 1 at 3:45 with US festivals and EU festivals, exchanging about their experiences, but we are happy that this is prolonged for the next 4 years, so there will be more tools coming in the future as well. 3F is Europe's 3-year project on resilience, responsibility and relevance of festival. I know that's a wide field, but that's the purpose, and it was meant to be a wide field. There's some guiding questions. What make European festivals resilient to meet the challenges of the future? Katharina?
What does the responsible festival of the future look like, and how do we achieve that?
How do tomorrow's festivals ensure that they continue to play the relevant role in popular culture and the lives of millions of young people? And in the next project, we add another guiding question, which is this one.
How do we make our festivals resistant to threats and attacks on their foundation and values.
Yes, that is what we will be doing. And now we start with the showing you the tools that we have. The European Festival Report is something that we created. It's a magazine covering the festival season annually. We put it together with the IQ magazine, the most important magazine and business communication tool in Europe. It is at least 60-page magazine covering everything from a review of the festival season, sustainability,
Safety, diversity and inclusion.
Interviews with festival executives, focus articles, etc. If you want to know more about the European festival scene, this is the go-to thing. You can go to the website, download them. The 2024 edition will be published in mid-December. Yeah.
And you forgot, there's also the results of the European Festival Survey in there. So we do annually a survey on the state of the festival scene, and this has the results.
Yeah. It's 222, this year, 222 festival promoters giving us an inside look about their season. Next one is the European Green Festival Roadmap. As part of 3F, we created this roadmap to help festivals navigate their green operations along the goals that the EU Green Deal and the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations have set up. You can find it here. We have put this together with A Greener Future and Greener Events Norway, which are part of our association. You can see the content here. We are concentrating on, it's not showing, you see the action plan, there's various focus topics like strategy, energy, materials and waste, food and beverage, travel and transport, water and community and biodiversity. Several subjects that festivals can concentrate on, and we try to give festivals a holistic approach, holistic information about what they can do in these various fields. The aim of the European Green Deal is European festivals will reach 55% reduction of overall CO2 emissions by 2030. And there are festivals who are already well on the way, and there's others starting out at the moment. And we want to give them a chance to build their own roadmap. You can see the roadmap here, building up the strategy, starting with the actions. The actions are separated in several levels of challenge. You can see basic, moderate, ambitious, challenging. We're running through this very quickly, so you can find out on the homepage, as mentioned. There's certain targets that we want to achieve. The color codes correspond with the fields of action. We just started out. We want to have implemented, reviewed and improved their sustainability strategies. We'll be using distributed renewable energy, so that's the energy part. Next one, the brown one, will be maximizing resources and reducing waste, etc. And from there, we are going into action plans for all these focus topics, and we're just showing you one, which is here, for example, the travel and transport. There's an introduction giving you why this is important and giving you some context, and then we go into the actions. Transport policies and monitoring, for example, staff, crew, performance, supplier, transport planning. Next one, production, transport planning, and then you can see with the colored dots. The first one is a very moderate one, an easy one task to achieve. The green ones a bit below, a bit more challenging. So they show you what to do, and then you can take that into your festival and create activities and targets and goals and measures to achieve that. We have that is a 40-page PDF, helps you, and it comes with an Excel sheet that you can also use to build your own roadmap and see where you are at that moment. And in the upcoming version of 3F, we will have we will build a navigator which is more interactive and gives you the chance to work around that in a even more sufficient way. Here's again, there's the QR code if you want to take a photo or scan it, and now we go to the next one.
So this is something that we did this year. This year in early summer we released the Diversity and Inclusion Toolset. And what does that mean? So we basically looked at all of the resources that are out there. So what have great organizations already released that helps festivals become more diverse and inclusive? And we checked all of these resources so you don't have to do it. So we did the work for you. And we made a very nice summary. And this is basically what's in there. So we're thinking about how to structure it, and we decided to go along with the most common types of discrimination. So inclusion and accessibility is dedicated to people with a disability, and there's anti-racism, work and diversity, so and the next one is gender and sexual equity. So these are the three main chapters. Then we have also smaller chapters on consciousness and responsibility, which we call awareness in Germany. And the last thing is allyship. So even if I'm not a victim of discrimination, how can I help people who are? And there's another chapter which is called Good Practices, and I think it's a great chapter because we looked at festivals that are already doing great work. We wrote down their stories, we talked to them, and you can basically get inspired. You can read these stories, have a look, what are festivals already doing, what's already possible, what can I do at my festival? And there's also some other stuff, so for example a glossary, because we know that when we're talking about diversity and inclusion, it's a field that people are really reluctant to touch because they're no experts and they don't want to say anything wrong. So we gave you a glossary where we defined the most common terms. So even if you're not an expert, you can just have a look and find out. And this is the short version from the PDF. There's also a longer version online. This is one of the chapters. And this is what the PDF looks like. So we have a PDF of, I think, 50 pages, around 50 pages. And there's also a very extensive online version. So the PDF has all the tools, very shortly introduced, just the name, the organization who published it, and a very short summary. And you can go online and find longer summaries where you can really look, okay, what is this resource about? Is this helpful for me? And now I hand over to Marta.
Yes.
Marta was also part of the development team.
Together with whom?
Exactly, together with whom? With of the Diversity and Inclusion Toolset. And lots of the tools, or some of the tools in the toolset are already of Primavera, and this is what Marta will tell you about now. Thank you.
No, so thanks for having me. Apart from being the head of press and institutional relations for Primavera Sound, a beautiful festival that happens every year in Barcelona and in Porto, in Portugal, I was also invited by Catarina and the rest of the team to be a part of the toolkit on diversity and inclusion. So apart from resources from the work I do at Primavera Sound, I also worked on other amazing tools that are already being developed by other festivals in Europe. So, apart from being featured, especially on the gender and equality aspect, Primavera Sound was included as one of the best practices. What we looked into this toolkit is to get festivals that are doing an amazing job combining all the aspects that it covers. So maybe some tools were only on diversity, other tools were on accessibility, and some festivals have been featured because of all the work that they are doing. Primavera Sound, we are proud to say that is one. We had lots of tools from Roskilde Festival. We had tools from many German festivals. So overall, we think that we are doing pretty okay. But if you don't know where to start, this is a great way to know how you can do it a little bit better and how to teach younger generations that they can go to festivals and feel safe no matter what. Because a little girl should be able to enjoy extreme death metal by Ghost, as she is doing here. And that's something that we are very, very proud of. So this would be Primavera Sound as one of the best practices. We try to compile everything that we are doing on gender, on accessibility, and also on sustainability a little bit, of course, even though this is not the topic of this particular toolkit. Primavera Sound happens every year in this brutalist concrete venue next to the Mediterranean Sea, and we try to make it easy to access for everyone. So in this case, all the stages have, of course, platforms where people with visible disabilities can access, but we also want to work with people and for people with disabilities that are not visible. People who might have sensory issues, people that just need a place to unwind a little bit, and for example, people with visual impairment, they can come, and we very much welcome all their beautiful four-legged dogs, so they can come and feel a little bit more accompanied. But especially what Primavera has been known for, and something that we have been championing since 2019, is gender balanced lineups. Something that, to me, who feel like an absolute parakeet repeating over and over and over, that we have achieved a 50-50 split, is not so common. Studies, especially in UK, reported by BBC every year, they check how we are doing on gender balance in festivals, and sadly, it's not that great. So this was something that was very prominent in this toolkit, how we have been working on gender balance lineups, and how that also relates on stage, but also off stage. We have created this protocol, which is called Nobody is Normal. In 2019, we released the first ever gender balance lineup, and we called it the new normal, because to us, it was normal to have women on stage. It was normal to have men on stage. But then we went one step further, and we created this anti-sexual harassment protocol, which is called Nobody is Normal. I am not normal because I'm a white, straight woman. And that guy over there is not normal because he's a black queer boy. The concept of normality implies that someone else is not normal. We are the norm, they are not. So with this, we wanted to let everyone know that they are welcome and safe in our festival. This is why it's not only an anti-sexual harassment protocol, more of that is a way to let everyone know that they are included. A festival should be a space for transgression. It should be the best version of our societies. Everyone should be able to go to a festival and wear whatever they want and express themselves however they want and feel included. This is why we used a very broad work with lawyers, university professors and doctors, all of them specialized on sexual aggressions and sexual violence, to know, to learn how we could make our festival more inclusive to everyone. Over there, you can see some strong statements in Spanish that would translate into, we are the horse, we are the queer, because these are the names that we have been called for ages. So reappropriating these terms, we make sure that everyone knows that we are as not normal as them. So this is just one of the tools, this anti-sexual harassment protocol that has been compiled in this toolkit. If you want to take a look at it and to know how we worked on that, we can just download it over there, alongside with all the other tools that we have been working on, diversity and inclusion, but also on accessibility, allyship, and all the other aspects that Katarina just told you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Marta. You can also, I'm switching again. So you can approach Marta if you have questions, of course. Marta will also be part of the panel at 3:45 on stage 1 in the US and EU exchange that we will have there. The most recent publication that we did is the 3F safety report, created by our YES group, the Europe Event Safety Group, and it is an evaluation of the experiences and new risk, which with a preview of trends and chances for the festival industry in the future. So this is a more than 60-page summary of what we have been going through in the past in the past 3 years. And the YES group is combined by people who work for Lollapalooza Berlin, for Roskilde Festival, Paleo Festival in Switzerland, Open Air St. Gallen in Switzerland. But we also have external experts in there. So it is a group which intimidates with expertise. It's crazy. You can see here they have put up annual surveys in 22, 23, and 24. They're going into the results, compare them. It's something about weather phenomena, about the importance of documentation. I will not go into details here because I'm not the expert, but you can read this. It's about new threats, spotlights, etc., and safe gatherings in 2024 with a lot of case studies and articles. There's one thing which is important, it gets more and more important every year, is of course weather phenomena, and they also look at it from different perspective. You can see here, for example, in Portugal, you have a very different extreme weather situation than here. There you have drought, you have heat, you have forest fires, and they tell us how to work with that, or at least give us an insight. And then in Denmark, for example, you have the events that we also share in Germany, much more rain, storm, lighting, thunderstorms, etc. Sun and heat also, but in a very different way. And this is our working group where the people also from different parts of Europe exchange on this subject. The YES group has their annual YES group seminar at Eurosonic. I don't know whether you're familiar with ESNS in Groningen. It is basically where all the Europe festivals gather every year in January in Groningen. And they have a seminar which is incredible, well attended, with a lot of valuable information, and they will also talk about the findings of this report. And I will continue because in the summer we also published the Festivals for Ukraine toolkit on raising funds and awareness. It's a subject which is very dear to my heart since the full-scale invasion of Russia into Ukraine in February of 2022. We are in touch with our peers in Ukraine, which are not organizing festivals at the moment. They're doing humanitarian work while we are thinking about producing festivals, and we use our festivals to help them on their way. Together with us, they were able to collect, not only with European festivals but also with others, more than 600,000 euros for their humanitarian aid, whether it is logistics, relief goods, evacuations. Now they're rebuilding music schools in Ukraine. And I really would like to urge everybody, do not forget about this. I know you're having this, there's so much coming across your way every day. But these people, they have bomb alerts, air raid alarms every day. They work in situations and in an environment we can hardly imagine. We are not to forget about them. We need to help them. Really need to help them every day, because it's getting harder and harder. Now the winter's coming again. The winter will be hard. Russia is attacking the infrastructures, the electricity, heating systems, etc. So they really need our help, and we have the power to help them. An evacuation from the front line costs 10 euros. So if you and your festivals are creating 50 euros, that might save the life of 5 people. And you really can do that. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world that we can concentrate on, but we need, these is right at our doorsteps, and we need to help them. If you want to do that at your festival, there's a lot of stuff. Artist booking of Ukrainian artists, special performances. You can have panels and speeches of Ukrainian speeches or organizations that work with Ukrainians. You can raise funds with bottle recycling collections and then giving them back and use the money. Cup deposit donations, guest list donations. I'm not going into detail how that works. It's all in here. Charity merchandise, auctions, online fundraising campaigns. You can create special zones for information and promo and awareness raising activities. You can find all of that. Of course, artist booking is showing Ukrainian culture, and the war is an attack on Ukrainian culture. If we show that and give them a platform, we help strengthen it, and it's incredible, invaluable. Discussion panels, etc. At the festival, I'm working with this, which is Das Fest in Karlsruhe. It's a 75,000 capacity festival. We collected cup deposits in the past 3 years, and with that we collected more, between 40 and 50,000 euros in the past 3 years, which went into the work of Music Saves Ukraine, which is our partner organization over there. Please be so kind and take a look at it. You can see the map here. All the yellow dots are Europe members, members of our association, which helped Music Saves Ukraine. The black ones are other supporters who also helped. You could be on that map if you're not already, but please be so kind and help. In that tool set you find the contacts to Music Saves Ukraine. They have a booth. If you go that way, on the back wall, go to the left. At the emergency exit, there's the booth of Music Saves Ukraine. That is Anna over there. Please talk to her how you can help. Please, 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 please take it seriously. It is a topic which is not, don't get bored of that. It's basically getting bored of the subject is an insult to the people who are really suffering over there. Sorry to be so direct. They also did a tour for music ambassadors, so 5 European festivals attended this tour earlier this year, going to Kiev and the surrounding cities which were occupied by Russia and destroyed by Russia. You can see them here. Our chairman, Christoph, and some others were there. If you go there and see it with your own eyes, this is life-changing, and that will basically make you not forget what it is. Of course, we're sitting at home. We have all the other subjects politically and socially that are going on in the world, but this is something that I really would urge you to. Sorry for being that pushy, maybe, but it's you can hear it. I'm struggling with my temper here. Please go there. It is also 60+ pages of pure information. You can do this, and also this is transferable. If you want to do some work on raising funds or awareness at a festival, you can use these tools also for other courses. And of course, we created this tool set together with Music Saves Ukraine for the purpose of supporting Ukraine, but also because they are good people. They also share the information of what we did in the past years to do it in other good causes. So, and to the Ukrainian people, thanks for being so brave. Katharina.
Okay, let's go back to sustainability. This is a project that we did a couple of years ago. It ended in 2022, but it's still incredibly relevant. And I can only recommend you checking this out. So if you say, well, sustainability is such a complex topic and we're not experts at our organization, we don't really have the money to invite experts to explain all of this to us, go and have a look at this, because everything you need to start is in there. This was developed, by the way, by lots of very, very good people that have lots of expertise in the field. So, for example, our Go group was involved, but also Julie's Bicycle, which you might know from the UK, Green Events International. So there's really lots of good stuff in there. And maybe I'll just show you the clip, because that explains most of it already. Okay, so it's too late to sign up, but you are free to enjoy the finished product. So you've seen it in the video. There are basically 4 tools, and the last one isn't super relevant for you. That's for university courses for teachers that teach people about sustainability. But what's interesting for you are the first 3 tools. So for example, we have a self-assessment tool. So if you say, okay, I want to check out where does my festival stand compared to other European festivals, you can answer some basic questions, and you will get a nice report that will tell you exactly where you stand compared with all the others. Then we have a best practice guide, and I love this very much because I wrote many of the stories that are in there. And what we did basically is talk to festivals that are already doing great projects all across Europe, and we talked to them about what was the challenge that they wanted to solve, and then we also wrote down how they solved it. So it's very, very step by step, very easy to follow. And the last thing is a certified e-learning course, and I cannot overstate how great this is, because this teaches you basically everything you need to start. So, and we also mentioned it's free, so you have no more excuses not to do sustainability now. Just check out the course. It goes through all the topics that we mentioned in the video. And I'm not sure if you recognize these, but these are the same topics that we also have in the Green Roadmap. And this is where we first created them. The Green Roadmap has one more, the Community and Biodiversity chapter, but these are the 6 chapters that are also in this project.
The tools are consistent, so you can use those in association with the other.
Exactly. So this is the self-assessment tool. So it's very basic. You have to answer a couple of questions, and then you get this nice report out of it, which gives you an overall rating, but it also goes into detail, gives you detailed rating in all of the 6 different topics. And in the,
if you answer the question by the questions, it's ticking boxes. So if you see, all right, I could even go that far. If you see the outstanding festivals who are outstanding work, you can already see what could be the aim in the end.
And of course, if you want to learn more, there are also additional resources that you can check out. This is the best practice guide. These are again, it has the 6 topics. Lots of great festivals in there, and I'm going to present you one of them, which is Lowlands Festival. We have to admit, this is some high-end shit. So this is not what you will start out as. So what they did basically, they wanted to get rid of their diesel generators, because they had more than 100 diesel generators that used something like almost 200,000 liters of diesel every edition, which is quite a lot. So they wanted to connect to the grid because, of course, when you're connected to the grid, you can book a green energy tariff and you get maybe solar energy or wind energy to power your festival. But they even took it a bit further because they built their own solar panel carport park. What a word. So what they did, they own the land. This is one of the great advantages that this festival has. They own the land that they take place on. This was their car park, and they were like, okay, we have this space, but of course, if we build like a solar park on it, well, where do we put all the cars? And so what they did was find a company that was able to build these solar panels as car parts. So you have the solar panels, and below the cars can still park. And the result is that they now produce as much energy as they would need for 100 festival weekends or 10,000 households. And this energy they produce and they sell back to the state. So they actually, of course, it was a huge investment, was something about 40 million euros. They didn't pay that all of themselves. They had sponsors that helped them. But of course, it's a huge investment, but also great returns in the long run.
And the stories are, we're coming up with a challenge. This is the huge challenge. So we're talking about a major festival of 60,000 people, one of the best, not only best, but biggest festivals in the Netherlands, with a very special challenge that they wanted to get rid of. You can, of course, downscale things like this. And in these festival stories, you also find very small 2,000 capacity festival stories who had a challenge, how they approached it, how they solve it.
Yeah. For example, Sonntag Festival is also in there, which is one of the smallest festivals, and they talk about how they fight travel and transport emissions by cooperating with a bike rental system and with e-cars. So there's also more basic stuff in there.
We can happily mention that half of the festivals presented there are Europe festivals, so the association festivals are delivering a lot of good experiences and case studies.
Exactly. Alrighty, and then the e-learning-Kurs. So there's a nice video introducing each of the chapters for the people that are more visual learners, and then you have the info material that you have to go through that teaches you the stuff, and then there will be a test. There's a test because in the end you get a certificate that proves that you have the knowledge that we talk about in there. But the good thing is that you can take the test as many times as you want. So you don't have to do it the first time. You can do it as many times as you want, and in the end you will get your certificate.
I think something that we, when we pitched this the first times, when we showcased it at other conferences, we saw that you can use it for your festival team. So if getting sustainable as a festival is teamwork. You cannot have a sustainability manager and the sustainability manager will take care of your festival getting green. It is a team effort. And you can go there, and if you want to raise the knowledge in your team on a general level, you can go through all these chapters, I don't know, in the lunch break, sit there and take the tests together so that you can learn, and it's very interactive and very funny at some times.
So some examples, maybe what you will learn. You can see again, there are the 6 topics that we're talking about all the time. Energy, for example, teaches you how can I get rid of diesel generators? How can I connect to the grid? How can I use solar energy? Materials and waste is more about what are the advantages of reusable cups? How can I do that? Food and drink is about plant-based food. What's the difference? What are the carbon emissions of red meat compared to plant-based food? Water is more about sanitation, so how do I get rid of the gray and black water that accumulates at my festival? Travel and transport, obviously, is about artist travel, but also audience travel and the travel of your crew. And strategy is more about the holistic thing, so how do I have all these nice measures and how do I put them into a concept that makes me future-proof and that lasts maybe for a couple of years.
So that is that, and now, again, go to the website, free to use for everybody, and still relevant, although it was published in 2012 23,
22, yeah.
but it's still super relevant. Last tool we are showing you is Fusion. Shall I take it? Or
I can do it.
It's also an Erasmus project. It's a youth project. Roskilde Festival was part of it. Europe, with our social awareness team, Take a Stand, was part of it. And maybe we can go through it. There's two things. Roskilde Festival was lead in creating an inspirational guide. You see the instructions. There's several inputs on subjects. What is social innovation? The power of social innovation and youth participation, learning mobility, etc. A lot. And also 15 case studies of great social innovation cases at festivals. Please go on. These are the festivals. The time is running out. That's why I'm going quick. We want to show you at least one, which is Roskilde Festival's Flocker stage. Please go on. Please go on. That's the Flocker stage. And please take a look what they're doing at Roskilde.
We are Bam and Lihi, and we're an artist duo who've been collaborating together with the activist groups to create the Here Together kinship at the
Can you
Flocker
read it?
stage.
Good.
Artists and activists are very similar in that they are both trying to express something that they care very deeply about. And when this energy and this emotion is brought together, it creates a very powerful union in order to try and activate people.
So what happens when you bring an artistic practice together with the clear political agendas of an activist movement?
Jeg hedder Malaika, og jeg er en del af den grønne ungdomsbevægelse. Så vi vil gerne ligesom ud til ungdommen og have ungdommen med på vognen. Både i forhold til at give unge en stemme, men også at give unge et fællesskab, fordi vi ved, at der er mange, der er klimabekymrede og ikke rigtig ved, hvad de skal gøre til hverdag. Så altså, tanken om det her bannerdrop er faktisk lidt en ny aktionsform, vi er begyndt at tage brug af. Og var der nogen, der fandt på at lave et bannerdrop i forbindelse med, at IPCC kom ud med deres rapport her i foråret. Der er ingen, der tvinger dig til at stoppe op, men du gør det af dig selv, fordi det er så stort, at man bliver helt nysgerrig på det. Og det tror jeg, det er det, der er fedt ved bannerdrop.
Jeg hedder Isabelle, og jeg kommer fra Fridays for Future Danmark. Og Fridays for Future, det er en international ungdomsbevægelse, der kæmper for klimahandling og klimaretfærdighed. Det synes vi er noget af det allermest vigtige og essentielle ved klimakrisen. Det er det klimaretfærdige perspektiv. Med den her aktion vil vi forsøge at sætte fokus på klimaretfærdighed på den her festival. Det vil vi gøre visuelt ved at have gaffatape for munden, have håndjern på og stå i helt sort tøj.
Der var en af mine medaktivismer, der sådan meget rigtigt sagde, at der er forskel på at vide, hvad klimakrisen er, og så sådan ligesom forstå det og mærke det. Og det synes jeg bare var ret smukt. Så det kan godt være, at man sidder på skolebænken, eller man læser i nyhederne, at man får en hel masse viden om, at når der er noget med 2030, der er 1,5 grader, og der er nogen, der bliver ramt af klimakrisen. Men og det kan, den faktuelle viden kan du ligesom få, men du kan også blive ved med at holde dig distanceret fra det, for du mærker det ikke følelsesmæssigt. Så det tror jeg virkelig, at det er sådan kunstens vigtigste rolle, det er at formidle viden, så vi også mærker det på kroppen. Og når vi mærker det på kroppen, så tror jeg, at vi er langt mere tilbøjelige til at handle på det.
And this is one of the 15 cases that we have researched in the in our guide. This is our team. We've been at Roskilde looking at this example. Everybody who has not been at Roskilde, we recommend it. It is mind-blowing and life-changing. If you're a festival promoter, if you're a festival producer, this is something different and inspirational.
And we're not exaggerating.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's another thing, Katharina, you want to talk about that?
So that's the second output from this festival. It's called the Fusion Toolbox. And what we wanted to achieve is create something that festivals and NGOs can use to better understand each other. So let's say there's an NGO, and we say NGO, but we mean all social organizations, non-profit, non-governmental, whatever. So there's an organization that wants to create a project at a festival. They have a great idea, but they've never been to a festival. They have no idea how this works. And the festival, in turn, they've never worked with an organization. So what do? This is where this toolbox comes in. It's basically a collection of all the questions that they could ask themselves. And we wrote down the questions and also the answers. And we also answered them from both perspectives. So in total, we came up with more than 100 questions and explanations. And they take you to all of the stages. So I think it's on the next slide. Exactly. We start with some ground rules. So what should my project be like? So it should be sustainable. It should be inclusive. Then if you don't have an idea, we can also help you come up with ideas. Of course, development and planning, design and partnership, communication, budgeting, and then in the end, the implementation. And last but not least, the evaluation. Because if you create a project, you should always evaluate it and see, did this actually work out? And do I want to do it again? And this is what the toolbox looks like. So it's an online tool, and you can navigate on the left side with a navigation and choose the different stages, but you can also go to every individual question. So you can click through the whole thing and enjoy the whole ride, but you can also take a shortcut to each question. And this is one example. This is Roskilde Festival again. This wasn't planned, I think. The pictures from Roskilde Festival. Yeah, so do you know your competencies? So do you know what you're good at? And how can you bring in your expertise as best as possible? And you can see it's the perspective for the NGO and for the festival. And all of these questions also have some kind of extra content. So in this case, it's the FAQ page of Wacken Open Air, because it's a great example of just telling people all the stuff they need to know. But there are also videos in there and some legal definitions and pictures and many.
And a million of funny
good
gifts.
Stuff. And gifts. Oh yeah, we forgot about the gifts. We tried to make this fun because, of course, 100 questions is a lot. So lots of gifts. So feel free to scan.
Yeah, and that is the Fusion project. And incredibly, it's 14:45.
Perfect.
We made it in time through all of this. Can you switch to the next one? There's some more dates we would like to point you through. The next event of Europe is the European Festival Awards, taking place in Groningen at Eurosonic on the 15th of January. You can find the information there. Then there's the Yes Group seminar at Eurosonic for those who are Europe members about health and safety at events. Then we will go to Roskilde with our Green Operations group and have a seminar there for 2 days in the beginning of April.
And this is open to everyone, not just Euros members.
Yeah, this is open to everyone. And then in 1 year's time, we will be meeting in a smaller event with a limited capacity at our European Festival Conference at Icor Hotel in Evora in Portugal, which is us, the European Festival family, like in a number of 60 to 70 people, just sharing a couple of days with each other, exchanging about the topics that we were talking about, and some more also about booking and marketing and stuff like that. And it's also open for everybody who wants to join. And you're invited, of course, to that. Next page is if you want to follow us, you can find us there. You can find our contacts on our website. Please, if you want to have more information, reach out. thank you very much for listening to us pontificating about all that we do, but sometimes you need to show off a bit if that is for the purpose of raising the quality of all the festivals in Europe and hopefully beyond. Thank you very much.
Because everything we do for you.
Yeah. That's very meatloafy.
Sorry.
Thank you. If you have questions, we're coming down. The next session is on in 50 minutes, but if you have questions, please approach us.
Das war das Panel mit dem Namen
Tools, Tools, Tools und inspirierende Festivalgeschichten.
Wenn ihr Kritik oder Fragen habt, dann schreibt uns gerne unter www.futureoffestivals.com. Wir sehen uns spätestens am Donnerstag, den 27. und Freitag, den 28. November 2025 in der Station Berlin. Bis dahin.